uh, Virgo, today. I want to sit with you for a moment, just as I always do. Thank you, truly, for coming back to this space again and again, for the comments you leave me, the ones I read late at night with a cup of something warm going cold beside me, for trusting this strange, quiet exchange between a stranger and a deck of cards, and whatever moves through both of us when we sit down together like this. And if you are new here, welcome. You arrived at exactly the right moment. That is not a coincidence. You will understand why by the end of this. Now, Virgo, come close, because I am going to lay this out for you exactly as it appeared to me, slowly, deliberately, the way I always do. And I need you to sit with each image as it comes, rather than rushing ahead to the meaning. The meaning is inside the image, it is not separate from it. Let's begin. I pull the first one and set it down in front of me, and immediately something in my chest tightens. I see a structure, tall, narrow, built high above the ground on a foundation that looks thinner than it should be, thinner than anyone standing inside it would want to know. And there is a bolt of light striking it from somewhere unseen, somewhere above the frame of the image itself, as though the sky itself has made a decision about this structure and is not asking permission. Two figures are falling from it, not being pushed, not fighting, simply falling, as though the structure itself let go of them the instant the light touched it. I want you to sit with this image before I say anything else about it, Virgo, because what I am seeing here is not devastation for the sake of devastation. It is release. It is something old, something load bearing, something you built your life around without quite realizing how much weight it was carrying, finally giving way. And I think you already feel it. Somewhere in your body right now, there is a low hum of anticipation that has nothing to do with fear and everything to do with recognition. You have felt a structure in your life becoming unstable for a while now. Small cracks, a door that does not close the way it used to, a version of your life that used to feel solid and now creaks slightly when you put your full weight on it. This card is telling me that structure is coming down soon, not gently, not slowly, in a single decisive strike. And Virgo, uh, that is the beginning of the shock this reading is named for. Let me lay down the next one. I see a woman standing at the edge of moving water, her hands empty, her face turned towards something just outside the frame that I cannot fully see, but that she clearly can. Behind her, 8 vessels are arranged in careful rows, and she is walking away from all of them, toward a mountain path that climbs upward into shadow. Does this feel like something you have been sensing lately? A pull toward leaving something behind, even something that once mattered enormously to you, even something you built with your own 2 hands? Let me know in the comments, because I think a lot of you are standing exactly where this woman stands right now without fully admitting it to yourselves yet. What strikes me about this image is what she is not doing. She is not looking back at the vessels. She is not counting them, checking whether they are still upright, whether their contents have spilled. She has already made her decision internally, even if her feet have not yet caught up to it. This is you, Virgo, right now. Some part of you has already left the situation this reading is circling. Your body may still be standing inside it. Your daily routine may not yet reflect the shift, but something essential in you has already turned toward the mountain path, and it is only a matter of time before the rest of you follows. Now I turn the third one, and oh, this is the one that made me stop and just breathe for a moment before continuing. I see a wheel turning in open sky with figures positioned around its edges, some rising as it turns, some descending, and at the very center, a stillness that does not move at all, no matter which direction the wheel spins. Strange symbols mark its rim, half-formed letters that seem to shift slightly if you look at them too long. This is the heart of the shock, Virgo. Because what this image is telling me is that something is turning right now in your life that you did not set into motion and cannot stop through effort or worry or careful management. A cycle is completing, not beginning, completing. And completions, real ones, the kind this wheel represents, always arrive suddenly, even though the turning itself has been happening slowly and quietly for a very long time beneath your awareness. You are going to feel this as suddenness, as a single moment where everything reorganizes itself in front of you. But I want you to understand, as you feel that suddenness land, that it was never actually sudden. It was simply hidden from you until the exact moment it was ready to be seen. Inhale. Let me lay the fourth one down now, and I want you to really look at this with me. I see a figure seated on a raised platform, holding two rods loosely, almost carelessly, in front of a pattern of curtains that half conceal a garden behind them. And their expression is unreadable, not cold, not warm, simply waiting, as though they already know something is about to be placed in front of them, and they are perfectly at ease with not knowing exactly when. This figure is someone specific, Virgo, someone real, someone who exists in your actual life, not a metaphor floating disconnected from your circumstances. I am sensing that this shock, whatever precise form it takes for you individually, arrives through a person, not through fate in the abstract, not through some impersonal cosmic event, but through someone standing directly in front of you, delivering something with their own two hands, their own voice, their own very real presence. For some of you, this is someone who has been quietly observing your situation from a slight distance, waiting for their own internal readiness before stepping forward with what they know. For others, this is someone who has been part of the structure I described earlier, someone connected to that tall, narrow tower now being struck by light, and their role in what topples is going to surprise you more than the toppling itself. Sit with who came to mind the instant I described this figure. Trust that name, trust that face. Your first instinct here is almost always correct. I want to slow down for a moment, Virgo, before I lay down the next image, because I feel your nervous system needs a breath here as much as your mind needs the information. What I am describing to you is not meant to frighten you. I know the word shock carries weight, carries an edge of alarm that I do not want you carrying into the rest of this reading unnecessarily. So let me be precise about what kind of shock this actually is. It is not the shock of loss without meaning. It is not devastation arriving for no reason, cruelty without purpose, pain that simply happens to you and leaves nothing behind but wreckage. What I am seeing in these images, laid out one after another in front of me, is the shock of sudden clarity, the shock of finally seeing something whole after months, maybe years, of only seeing fragments of it. The shock of a structure falling not because something evil struck it, but because it was never meant to hold the weight you were asking it to hold, and something wiser than you, something that has been watching this whole time, has decided you deserve better architecture for your life. That is a different kind of shock, a necessary one, the kind that hurts for a moment and then, almost immediately afterward, produces relief so large you almost cannot hold it. Let me lay down the fifth image now. I see a closed door painted a deep, saturated color set into a plain stone wall with no visible path leading toward it and none leading away. There is no handle that I can see. No hinge visible from this angle, just the door itself standing there, complete and self contained, waiting. This is what comes after the shock, Virgo. This is the part of the reading I want you to hold on to most tightly, because it is easy when a structure falls and a wheel turns and someone finally hands you the truth you have been circling for so long, to focus entirely on the falling, on the turning, on the delivering, and to forget that every single one of these images is pointing towards something on the other side of the disruption. This door has no visible mechanism because it does not need one. It opens from a place inside you, not from anything external. When the shock lands, when the structure comes down and the cycle completes and the person steps forward with what they have been carrying, you are not going to be left standing in rubble with nowhere to go. You are going to be standing directly in front of this door, and it is going to open, not because you force it, because you are finally standing close enough, having walked away from the tower and the vessels and the old turning of the wheel, to reach it at all. Have you felt a door like this waiting somewhere in your peripheral vision lately? Something you cannot quite name yet, but that you sense is there, just past whatever is currently unraveling? Tell me in the comments. I would love to know how many of you are already standing closer to it than you realize. Let me pull one more card because I feel there is a piece of this still unspoken, and I do not want to close this reading without giving it to you fully. I see a figure standing at the top of a hill at the exact moment the sun breaks over the horizon behind them, their arms slightly raised, not in triumph exactly, but in something closer to relief. The specific posture of someone who has been carrying something heavy for a long stretch of road and has just set it down. Around their feet, small new growth is visible in the grass. Not flowers yet, not anything fully formed, just the first green evidence that something is beginning, even though the larger landscape around them still shows signs of the night that has just ended. This is you, Virgo, on the other side of what is coming. Not immediately. I want to be honest with you about that. There is a gap, a real one, between the moment the shock lands and the moment you find yourself standing on this hill with the sun behind you. That gap is not empty. It is where the actual work happens, the quiet internal work of integrating what you have just learned, what has just fallen, what has just been handed to you by the person this reading has described. But the hill is real, the sunrise is real, and the fact that new growth is already visible around your feet, even before you have consciously processed everything that led you there, tells me something important. Your healing does not wait for your understanding to catch up. It begins the moment the truth arrives, whether you have fully made sense of it yet or not. I want to speak to your body for a moment, Virgo, because I know how you process things. You are someone who thinks in details, who wants the full sequence of cause and effect laid out clearly before you allow yourself to feel anything about it. That has served you well in most areas of your life. It has kept you sharp, discerning, rarely fooled by surface appearances. But this particular unfolding is not going to arrive in a form your analytical mind can fully digest in real time. It is going to arrive the way the tower falls in that first image. Suddenly, completely, without waiting for your permission or your readiness. And I want to give you permission right now in advance to simply feel it when it happens, to not immediately reach for the explanation, to not immediately need to understand every piece of why before you allow yourself to react to what. You are allowed to be shocked. You are allowed to sit very still for a moment, the way I sat still after laying down that wheel card, and simply breathe before you do anything else. The understanding will come, it always does, for you, but it does not need to arrive in the same instant as the truth itself. Let me speak now to the timing of all of this, because I know that is the question sitting quietly underneath everything I have described so far. I cannot give you an exact date, Virgo, and I want to be honest with you about that, rather than inventing a false precision that would only set you up for disappointment or unnecessary anxiety while you wait. What I can tell you, from the way these images arrange themselves in front of me, from the specific sequence in which they appeared, is that this is closer than a distant season, closer than something you have to brace for over months. The light is already striking the tower. I felt that the moment I laid the card down, this is not a warning about something building slowly toward a future point. This is a description of something already in motion, already unfolding, already reaching toward you, even as you listen to these words. You may not see the full shape of it yet, but you are going to. And when you do, I want you to remember this reading. I want you to remember the door with no visible handle, and the hill with the new growth at its base, and the woman walking away from the vessels without looking back. Because all of that is on the other side of whatever is about to shock you, and all of that is real as the shock itself. Before we close, Virgo, I want to say something about the people who are going to witness this unfolding alongside you. There are people in your life, some close, some further at the periphery, who are going to feel the aftershock of whatever happens to you in these coming days. Some of them are going to be surprised. Some of them, the ones who have been quietly paying closer attention than you realized, are going to nod almost to themselves, as though something they suspected has finally been confirmed. Let them witness it. You do not have to manage their reactions or soften the truth of what is happening for their comfort. What is unfolding in your life belongs to you first, and their response to it, whatever form it takes, is theirs to carry. Your job in this moment is simply to stay present, to let the tower fall without trying to catch every piece of it as it comes down, to let the wheel finish its turn without gripping the spokes in an attempt to slow it, to walk toward that door even before you fully understand what waits behind it. As I gather these cards back together, I want to leave you with the image that stayed with me longest after I finished the reading. Not the tower, not the wheel. The hill with the sun behind the figure standing on it, and the small green growth already pushing up through ground that, just hours before, would have looked completely bare. That is where you are headed, Virgo. Through something sudden, through something that is going to make your breath catch for a moment, that is going to reorganize your understanding of your own circumstances faster than you are used to processing change. But through it, not stopped by it, through it toward a version of your life that has more light in it, more honesty in it, more solid ground beneath it than what you have been standing on. Let the shock come. You are more ready for it than you feel right now, sitting here listening to these words. The part of you that has already turned toward the mountain path, the part that has already sensed the tower creaking, already knows exactly how to walk through what is coming. Trust that part of yourself. It has never once led you wrong. If this reading moves something in you today, share it with a Virgo who needs to feel this energy right now, and leave me a comment below. Tell me which image landed the deepest for you. Tell me if you already sense which part of your life this tower represents. I read every single one of your words, and I carry them with me long after this video ends. Until next time, Virgo, stay close to yourself in the days ahead. Whatever falls is only making room for what was always meant to stand in its place. And you are already walking toward it.